What's up, everybody? This is Ray with the Houston Film Fanatics, and we are talking today with Candice Patton. You guys may know her from the TV series The Flash. She plays the role of Iris. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, now you're going to be out at Comicpalooza 2017 this weekend. We're all very, very excited to see you out there. Is this your first con that you have appeared at, or have you kind of got a few of these under your belt?
Yeah, I've definitely got a few under my belt at this point, being on the show for 3 years. Comic book fans are quite passionate, so I've tried to make it to a number of conventions when I have the time, but I've yet to be at Comicpalooza in Houston, so it's going to be exciting.
I promise you, this will be an awesome convention. This is, I think, the biggest one that we have in all of Texas, so it should be pretty exciting. What do you like about doing these con appearances, getting the one-on-one with the fans and things like that?
It's always nice to meet fans and see how they're responding to the show. You know, we're kind of removed from it. We shoot in Vancouver, Canada, and, sometimes you get into the day in and day out of making a TV show and you don't really get to see how it affects people. So it's an opportunity for us as well to meet the fans and be excited by you guys.
Now, I was just curious, are you a little bit of a geek girl? Is there anything, even outside of The Flash, that you're like, oh man, I'm obsessed with The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or anything like that?
Definitely obsessed with Game of Thrones. I rewatch the episodes of Game of Thrones. I go online to HBO.com and look at the maps and study them. That's probably the only thing that I'm a super nerd about. But yeah, I love Game of Thrones.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know people are super excited when they have, actors like yourself that people look up to. They're like, oh my God, we totally watch the same things. That's awesome. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
So now you were raised in Plano, Texas, I should say. So you got Texas in you, which is exciting.
Yes.
And you say you have not been to Houston yet?
I've definitely been to Houston before in my life. My grandmother lives in Houston. My immediate family still lives in Dallas and Plano. But yes, of course, I've been to Houston. It's a great city, and I'm excited to go back. I'm always happy when I'm home in Texas, no matter where it is. There's just something different in the water there that makes me feel, I don't know, more like me. So I'm excited to be back in Texas. I'll pop over to Dallas afterwards and see my family and hang out and have some great barbecue.
All right, so here's the $1 million question. When somebody says, hey, where can I get some killer Mexican food, what do you tell them?
Oh, wow, in Texas?
In Texas.
Well, okay, so back in the day growing up for me, and I don't know if this is still a thing, but El Phoenix was like my spot.
All right.
I don't know if they have El Phoenix in Houston, but in Dallas, it was a restaurant that I loved, and I don't know if it's still around. I hope it is. But I definitely go to Mi Cocina a lot. And, I haven't been back in so long. I don't know what's still around.
Well, I definitely recommend, if you're here in town, checking out a place called El Tiempo. Awesome Mexican food.
Yeah.
Now, switching gears a little bit, talking about the show. Now, you started out doing, daytime soaps, actually. Now you're working on The Flash, obviously. You've done other movies as well. What is it like doing, that big transition from, the daytime soaps to doing a TV show like The Flash?
I don't know. I mean, I think people often think that I did a lot of soaps, but I don't have a lot of experience doing soaps. I wasn't doing them for very long. But what I do remember is, soaps, they shoot so much, so many pages per day. It's kind of a great training ground in terms of learning dialogue really quickly. So in that way, I have a lot of respect for soaps. I wish I could have done it longer. The thing about The Flash is it's just a hard show to shoot in terms of doing visual effects and special effects and green screen work and night shoots. It's something you can never prepare yourself for. But yeah, and now it's kind of old hat.
You guys, you just finished your third season, correct?
Yes.
You guys got the opportunity to do kind of this crazy crossover event, which, I was geeked out for days. I know we were promoting it here at the station. It was super exciting. Is that kind of putting all of these different casts and shows together, is that almost like, I don't know how else to describe it, as maybe actor field day, where you get to see what all the other classrooms are like and mixing with the other students?
Yeah. And it's I haven't crossed over to any other shows, but having the actors from Arrow or Legends come to our show, yeah, it's definitely like having your friends from another school come over for field day or whatever. And we all see each other at other events and other publicity moments throughout the year, so it's nice to get to actually work with each other. It's really, really fun. It's a lot of work. Those crossovers are a lot of work for us, but the fans seem to love them, so I don't think we'll ever stop doing them.
Being on the show for the whole thing, do you have like a favorite moment from the show or a favorite episode or scene that you just look back on and go, man, this was right here was my favorite thing that we've done so far?
Wow, it's hard to say. We've had so many impactful moments on the show that I remember shooting and thinking this is just a really cool moment. From this season, the Christmas episode when Barry and Iris move into the apartment, there was something just about the way that was shot and the way Gret and I kind of played that scene that was just so romantic and so canon. Iris and Barry, it felt really special. There was a time vault scene this season 2 when Iris finds out that she's potentially going to get killed in the future by Savitar, and I remember that being a really poignant scene that Grant and I shot as well. So there's been a lot, but those are two of my favorites from this season in particular.
Now, I think the show is a lot of fun. I think that there's a lot of really, really just great personalities on the show. Who is your favorite person, or who is the craziest person, I should say, on the set?
Craziest? I think the person with the most energy consistently is Tom Cavanaugh. He's like a big kid, and he keeps us all kind of energized at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how he does it. He's got kids and a wife and a family and still has more energy than all of us combined, so it's pretty incredible. I'm also super duper close with Kian, who plays Wally West, my brother, on the show. And I don't think a lot of people know this about him, but he's very, very funny, and so he keeps me laughing pretty much consistently while we're shooting.
Well, I do know that just, from the outside looking in, it looks like you guys are having a blast on screen. And I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you, I'm literally saying this because out of, I think, a lot of the different CW shows like Supergirl and Arrow, I think this is actually my favorite one to watch just because of the vibe that you guys all have together on screen. It just seems like a very just natural, fun show to watch. So
yeah, I think sometimes we feel like kids that have no parents watching us, so we attempt to get away with as much as possible. So yeah, it's pretty much like a daycare working at the Flash. It's really fun.
Daycare with cameras. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we are very, very excited again to see you this weekend. You guys need to get out to Comicpalooza. Candice is going to be out there Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be at the George R. Brown Convention Center, May 12th to the 14th. Do not miss Comicpalooza. Candice, thank you so much for talking with us today. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you guys this weekend.
All right, great. Thank you so much.